Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Road to the Apocalypse. We're going to take another look at the development roadmap here for the Deadlinger.com. We're going to open up Survivor gameplay. We have covered quite a bit, so I got to scroll all the way down here. And let's see. Okay, we left off. Well, shoot, I should have looked ahead yesterday. Maybe covered the immersion, the Oculus Rift Part 2. That's part of immersion. Now, honestly, I don't know much about Oculus Rift. I just see pictures of people wearing like these huge goggles on their head, and I haven't looked into it too much. Virtual reality and all that stuff is kind of cool, but I keep thinking back to the days of like the old, like the Nintendo 3D red goggle system and all these weird gimmicks that people have been trying. But I have not witnessed Oculus Rift myself, and mentioned in a reply the other day how Oculus Rift would be really, really cool for the game. And I agree. I think so. Because we were talking about, when I mentioned like the third person view, when we talked about the HUD, and how in third person view, depending on the game that you're playing, that kind of gives you like a cheating almost or unfair advantage, because the way that you can get to a corner and then swing that camera from the third person view, you can look around corners without triggering or alerting anybody know that you're looking around the corners. And so in first person games, a lot of times they don't have like a third person view. I'm thinking of, like, just for example, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty. They don't have that third person view. You actually have to peek around that corner, and then that's when you're going to get shot. And so for the Dead Linger, when they really start putting in like that PvP aspect, I could see why, you know, the comment was made. Oculus Rift would maybe help with that immersion a bit. Because you could maybe tilt your head and peek. It's easier to move your head around, so you don't have to worry about the third person view. The Oculus Rift would help give you your peripheral vision, or make it easier for you to turn your head instead of having to hold down the Alt key and move the mouse to look around. I see why that would be very cool. I see how it'd be very, very cool for like PvP type of games. So they're 10%. They said they got their dev kit, and I know from earlier in one of their Twitters, or I'm not quite sure if I remember where I read it, but it did say they wanted to bring Oculus Rift support sooner than later. So it's very cool that they're thinking about it. But let's talk about, next down here, Survivor trials and rewards. So right now, survivors will have access to a database of trials that they can complete as they play. Some are pure number counters, such as kill like 1,000 zombies, and some will be more specific, such as fall from X height without dying. I've lost that one. I hope they put in one from fall from X height while spawning into the game and dying, because I think I've got that one a couple times. Some of these trials will give rewards such as special titles, and some will unlock various perks for the survivor to use. And then there's a section that says, see survivor perks and customizing your play style further down the page. Now, this is actually a very cool idea, because there's lots of games that have rewards and trials systems in place where you get little perks and bonuses. And one that I'm thinking of right now that is no longer with us, a game, is the Warhammer game, Warhammer Online. That had a really good system for tracking the way you found things and got your rewards and your perks and stuff, because it had a journal. And it was so neat, because this journal, as you accomplish these things, it filled in with lore, and then it let you track and unlock these things as you found it, without showing you. Can't really show you now because the game's gone, but if you go and you maybe do a YouTube search, maybe you can find archives somewhere, them talking about this Warhammer journal. It was actually really, really cool. Other games that have the trial stuff is like The Hobbit. Not The Hobbit. The Lord of the Rings. Makes me think of The Hobbit. But the Lord of the Rings online game, they also have an outstanding system of tracking your perks and unlocks, and then giving you bonuses based on things that you unlock. Like from an early part of the game, you can get like your spider slayer. You can find places that have spiders, and then you kill X amount of spiders, and that gives you like a little title, and it gives you little perks and bonuses when fighting spiders. And then the more that you kill, the higher your title and stuff like that. Now that's like a pure numbers crunching one, but it's a good example of things that you can try and achieve for. Now in the Dead Linger, when your primary target is zombies, then it might be a little difficult to say, hey, kill 10 zombies and then you get a little perk or a little bonus, because that's all there really is to kill. Now they have said that they want to add different types of creatures, different types of zombies, and so right now we've seen the dogs. So at some point, because the dogs aren't as numerous, maybe you might have a perk, kill X amount of dogs and you get a little something. But with the game being as open as it is, potentially where they can go, you might eventually find things like, consume a certain amount of food, because at some point food will really matter. Run X amount of miles, so you're really putting your sprint ability to use. Find X amount of gear, so there's a lot of things that you could open up. Then like with first person shooters, you might have, kill X amount of zombies with an axe, kill X amount of zombies with a sword. Now I do know if you go and if you look at their Steam page, and I'm trying to think where it's at. I'd have to pull my Steam up. But there's actually a spot where it shows some of their potential rewards and these titles that you can get now. Some of the achievements. And there was like 200, I forget the exact number, but there was a staggering amount of achievements that they have. Achievements. And those don't necessarily equate into in-game stuff, but I can see that they've got the placeholders and some of those concepts in place right now of, how do they want to reward us with earning these unlocks and special things. Like here in this little picture, it might be hard to see, but they have an example. Slay 5,000 of something. So at 10%, it gives us something to think about, and possibly, eventually will give us some goals to go for. And I just think that's a nice touch. The thing, though, that's going to be hard is when you play on a server with permadeath. It's going to be, I think, good. You're going to care more about the life of this survivor and building him up or her up. Build your survivor up. That way, as you get all these different bonuses and stuff, you can see and feel the improvement of your character, but then you're going to be really thinking about, wow, do I really want to engage that one, maybe two zombies? Because you've seen with me, I'm reckless abandon. I just go plowing through the hordes of zombies with, a sledgehammer and stuff, and I take a lot of damage and I die a lot, and I'm not very careful or stealthy or elusive because, the death penalty means nothing currently, so I don't care. Plus, when I die and respawn, I have full food and life bars, everything come back to normal. But when they put in those death penalties, then keeping your survivor alive so you can see these trials and rewards build up and improve your character, then you're gonna be a lot more careful with what you do. You're gonna be really using those shotguns and bows and things to keep those zombies away from you. So choices really matter. So it just kind of depends on your play. If you don't care and you just run through and you kill stuff and you die, but if you want to keep those rewards and see how far you can progress in their achievement system, then you're going to be a lot more careful with your survivor. So lots of good things to talk about. We'll go ahead and save survivor perks and customizing your playstyle for tomorrow, because I have lots of thoughts and ideas on that. So we'll go ahead and make that a separate one for tomorrow. So anyway, thanks for hanging out on the road, getting in the car, buckle up. Actually, if it's the apocalypse, you don't need to wear a seatbelt. Just enjoy the ride. Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.